Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward. It's currently free, but in the future I'll add a small monthly fee to support the channel. Comment or message me what price feels fair for you. Let's make it comfortable for both sides.
Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward. It's currently free, but in the future I'll add a small monthly fee to support the channel. Comment or message me what price feels fair for you. Let's make it comfortable for both sides. Patreon link in description.
Chapter 1. In the middle of the Great Route, in front of the Red Earth continent, the Chambord Islands. This island is made up of many big trees, the ground is made up of the roots of the big trees, and bubbles will appear on the ground. In a dim room, a young man rubbed his head in pain. The iron chain on his body made a rattling sound. Hiss! It hurts. What the hell is going on? Why am I here? Changtian rubbed his head, with a painful expression on his face, he muttered in doubt. He was sleeping soundly at home, but for some reason he suddenly felt chilly, and there was a lot of sea breeze blowing on him. When he opened his eyes, he found himself lying on the shore of an island. Just when he was a little puzzled, a tall man walked over from a distance, dressed in strange clothes. His eyes lit up instantly when he saw Changtian. The appearance of this person is really too tall, at least 2 meters long, and he is long and fierce. Just when Changtian was thinking about whether he should hide and avoid trouble, that person actually rushed towards Changtian, and the speed was very fast. Before Changtian had time to figure out what happened, that tall guy came to Changtian's side. Without saying a word, he directly knocked Changtian unconscious. After waking up again, Changtian came here. What the hell is this place? Changtian ruthlessly tugged on the iron chain on his body, and looked around. You can also see many people wearing iron collars. These people look very strange, and some of them are tall and abnormal. They don't look like normal people at all. Hey! Boy, stop struggling, you can't get out. Just when Changtian was wondering what was going on with these people, a voice came from behind Changtian. Changtian turned his head and looked back. What caught my eye was an old man with short silver hair, clear glasses, and a scar on his face. Pluto really? Changtian was surprised in his heart. Can't go wrong, absolutely can't go wrong. Before going to bed yesterday, Changtian had been watching One Piece. Among them, Rayleigh, the king of the underworld, has appeared many times. Did he? One Punch Man summoning system request binding. Is the host bound? Just when Changtian wanted to ask Pluto Lely what was going on, a mechanical voice that couldn't tell the difference between male and female suddenly sounded in Changtian's head. System. Changtian asked suspiciously in his mind. He heard a mechanical sound in his mind just now, but he was not sure. Did he? One Punch Man summoning system request binding. Is the host bound? The system did not answer Changtian's words, but repeated what he said just now. Bind quickly. I am already like this, if I don't bind the system, I may end up dead. Did he? The One Punch Man summoning system has been successfully bound. System, what function do you have? After the system binding was successful, Changtian couldn't help asking the system. After Changtian saw Pluto Lely, he probably knew what happened. It is very likely that he traveled to the world of pirates, and was caught by human traffickers again. In the world of One Piece, human trafficking is very common. Please host to check it yourself. Following the mechanical sound of the system, a delicate screen appeared in Changtian's mind. After reading the introduction of the system, Changtian also roughly understood the function of this system. The so-called One Punch Superman summoning system is the character that can summon the world of One Punch Superman. Summoned characters are divided into ordinary summons and advanced summons. Each call requires a certain amount of shock points. Normal summons cost 30 shock points and advanced summons cost 100 million shock points. Shock points can be obtained through the shock of others. As long as others are shocked by what you do, or what the characters you summon do, you can get shock points. Moreover, shock points have many other uses. By consuming a certain amount of shock points, you and your summoned characters can learn domineering. Armed color domineering, knowledge color domineering, including domineering color domineering, can all be learned by consuming shock points. And every time you summon a character, you will also get a reward. The quality of rewards has a lot to do with the characters you summon. The more powerful the character you summon, the better the reward you get. What's even more frightening is that the summoned characters will be very different from their previous strengths. Everyone has untapped potential, and the system can further develop their potential to make them even stronger. According to the introduction of the system can increase the strength of the summoned characters to about twice as much as before. Seeing the functions of the system, Changtian was also a little surprised. Did he? The host binds the system for the first time, and presents a mysterious novice gift package, whether to open the mysterious novice gift package. At this time, the voice of the system sounded in Changtian's mind again. Open the mysterious novice gift package. After Changtian heard the system's words, he directly chose to open the mysterious novice gift package. Now that I am about to be sold as a slave, I naturally want to use everything that can save my life. Did he? Open it successfully and get 100 million shock points. As soon as Changtian finished speaking, the voice of the system rang in Changtian's mind. What? Even Changtian was surprised. He didn't expect the system's mysterious novice gift package to be so luxurious. Is this because I am afraid that I will die now? System, use advanced summoning. After getting the shock point, Changtian directly used the advanced summon. A normal summon only needs 30 shock points, but Changtian will not use it lightly. Although ordinary summons consume less shock points, the probability of ordinary summons summoning powerful characters is too low. And it is possible to summon ordinary people. But advanced summoning is different. The probability of summoning powerful characters is very high, and it is even possible to summon the bald devil. The shock point has been successfully deducted, and the advanced summoning is in progress. As soon as the system finished speaking, a dazzling white light lit up in Changtian's mind. A blank card suddenly appeared in Changtian's mind, and then strange lines lit up on the card. After a while, as the light dissipated, the outline of a monster appeared on the blank card. Hiss! After Changtian saw the outline of the monster clearly, he couldn't help but gasped. Brown beetle shell, pointed tentacles, square body, fat face. It turned out to be the Azura unicorn immortal. You know, Azura unicorn is a very powerful existence in One Punch Man. If he didn't meet the bald devil, he would definitely be in big trouble. Advanced summoning is really powerful. Although the high-level summoning cost 100 million shock points, it is definitely a big profit to be able to summon the Azura unicorn immortal. Changtian looked at the card in his mind. As long as he crushed the card, Azura unicorn immortal would be released. And after it was released, Azura unicorn immortal completely obeyed his orders. Chapter 2. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Azura unicorn, and congratulations to the host for obtaining the reward monster cell, perfect version. At this time, the voice of the system sounded in Changtian's mind. At the same time, a group of purple-red things resembling bacteria appeared in Changtian's mind. A freak cell is a special thing in the world of One Punch Man that can turn an ordinary person into a weirdo. The weirdo is a special creature in the world of One Punch. It possesses powerful power and can be born in various ways. The Azura unicorn immortal that Changtian summoned just now is a strange person created through the genetic technology of the House of Evolution. The monster cells are also a way for the birth of monsters, which can make people have powerful power. However, eating weirdo cells has serious side effects. Many people will change their temperament drastically after eating the monster cells. It is even possible to lose your mind and become a beast-like existence. Perfect version. Changtian looked at the annotations on the system, and clicked on the introduction of the perfect version. It seems that luck is good this time. After seeing the introduction on the system, Changtian felt relieved about this weird cell. The perfect version of weirdo cells eliminates the drawbacks of eating weirdo cells. Let people eat it and have power, but at the same time, they will not change their temperament or lose their minds. And after Changtian becomes a weirdo, he can change back at any time. You know, in the world of One Punch Man, you can't change back after eating the monster's cells. If there is no accident, you can only be a weirdo for the rest of your life. And the perfect version of the weirdo cell, like a devil fruit-capable user, can withdraw its ability at any time, and it is not afraid of sea water. Hey, old man, where is this place? What year is it this year? Changtian turned his head, looked at Pluto Lely and said. Now that time has passed, what Changtian most wants to know is the current timeline. Hey? Young man, your question is very strange. Could it be that you were beaten stupid by a human trafficker? This is the Chambord Islands, and it is the year 1520 of the ocean calendar. Pluto Lely glanced at Changtian strangely. There was indeed a big blood hole on Changtian's head, and it was possible that he was beaten stupidly. 1520? The Chambord Islands? In addition, Pluto Rayleigh was auctioned. Is it time for supernovas to gather in the Chambord Islands? Thinking of this, Changtian became a little excited. When these things are connected, you can basically know what is about to happen. Big event, big event. If it is really the time for supernovas to gather, then those celestial dragons will definitely come here. Now I really need to be shocked. Those few Tianlong people are equivalent to sending charcoal in the snow. Hey! You kid, you dare to stand up, are you looking for death? Just as Changtian was thinking, a tall and strong man walked in, looked at Changtian who had stood up, and roared with anger all over his face. This is the auction in the number 1 area of the Chambord Islands, and there are Tianlong people at the venue, they must be careful to deal with it. If the Tianlong people are not happy, I am afraid they will all die. Okay. Hearing the voice behind him, Changtian slowly turned his head back. It's you. After Changtian saw the face of the strong man, he immediately became angry. He still vaguely remembered this familiar face, it was the person who knocked him out before. Hey! Boy, why are you looking so fierce? Is it itchy again? The strong man looked at Changtian's eyes and felt very uncomfortable. Now Changtian is just a thin slave in his eyes, how dare he look at him like this? The strong man still remembers Changtian, who he met on an island a few days ago, and was easily knocked unconscious by him. Up to now, Changtian has been in a coma for a long time. If he is not still breathing, he might be thrown away by them as a dead person. Come out, Azura Unicorn. After hearing the strong man's scolding, Changtian didn't reply. Focusing on his own mind, he crushed the card of the Azura Unicorn Immortal in his mind. Then a tall and muscular figure appeared in the room. You, who are you? When did you break in? The strong man was terrified when he saw the Azura Unicorn Immortal who suddenly appeared. After all, the terrifying appearance of Azura Unicorn Immortal looks very powerful, and his temper is very hot. The beetle armor on his body is very hard and extremely strong. Hey hey hey! You are so brave, you dare to talk to my boss like this. Azura Unicorn Immortal raised his arm, stretched out an index finger and pointed at the strong man, with a playful expression on his face, and said. Your boss, could it be that? The strong man was frightened by the terrifying aura of Azura Unicorn Immortal. Azura One-Horned Immortal looked at the strong man as if looking at a prey, as if the strong man was a lamb waiting to be caught. Aren't you stupid? Then you go to die. Before the strong man could finish speaking, Ashura Unicorn Immortal interrupted him. The two arms stretched out quickly, grabbed the strong man's head in an instant, squeezed it lightly, and with the strong man's scream, his head burst. What? This, he actually killed the auctioneer. Too bold. We won't be implicated. Seeing this scene, several slaves were so scared that they couldn't help but screamed out. After all, here, the auctioneer is the owner. If the auctioneer finds out that their people have been killed, the consequences will be very serious. However, there were still some slaves who remained silent, their eyes staring blankly, they had been tortured and lost hope. When Ashura Unicorn Immortal was in action, Gu Changtian was not idle either. Taking out the weird cell, Gu Changtian ate it in one gulp. Afterwards, Gu Changtian's body underwent tremendous changes, and his entire body continued to grow in size. The color of the skin also changed, turning blood red. A pair of black devil horns appeared on the top of the head, and the mouth became bigger, like a clown's mouth. The slave collar around his neck was stretched and triggered an explosion. However, the explosion of the collar did not cause much damage to Gu Changtian. Gu Changtian shook his hand, feeling that his strength at this moment was unprecedentedly strong, and he even had a feeling that he could rival the four emperors right now. However, Gu Changtian also knew that this was just the blind self-confidence brought about by the soaring power. Although it has improved a lot now, there is still a big gap from the four emperors. What is this? What did he eat just now? It became like this after eating. Is it a devil fruit? That thing shouldn't be a devil fruit. After seeing Gu Changtian's change, the group of captured slaves started talking again. Even Raleigh the Pluto looked over curiously. What is that? It doesn't look like a devil fruit either. Chapter 3. When did this big guy come here? It seems very powerful. Pluto King Lely looked at what Gu Changtian ate just now, and the sudden appearance of the Ashura Unicorn Immortal, and he was also full of curiosity, muttering. Devil fruits are all attached to the fruit. That thing is obviously not a fruit, it looks like a mass of meat, and it is a mass of wriggling flesh, as if alive. And he felt threatened by Ashura Unicorn Immortal, that is to say, this guy's strength is definitely not weak. Shut up, everyone, if anyone makes any noise again, I will kill him. Ashura Unicorn Immortal looked at these slaves cruelly. The noisy and chaotic noise of this group of slaves really disturbed Ashura Unicorn Immortal. Ashura Unicorn Immortal is a weird person, but he is not a kind master. He has a very hot temper, and it is common for him to kill people. A group of noisy slaves, seeing the terrified expression of Ashura Unicorn Immortal, were immediately too frightened to speak any more. What happened? What happened to the place where the slaves were held? The host standing on the auction stage of the auction heard the movement behind the scenes and said in doubt. There are Tianlong people present at this auction, so nothing can happen. And the boss behind the auction is King Shishibukai Doflamingo, if anything happens, I will be finished. Why hasn't the next auction item come up yet, do you want to die? On the audience stage, the three Tianlong people were sitting, with bloated figures, ugly faces, and wearing a glass hood. One of them, in particular, had a slug running from his nose. There is also a dog in a hood sitting in the back. Seeing that the next auction item has not been brought up for so long, St. Charles Rose shouted at the host on stage. Don't worry, bring the next auction item right away. When the host saw that Tian Longren had actually spoken, cold sweat suddenly appeared on his face, and he said in a panic. After all, this is a Tianlong man, it is easy to kill him. Boom, boom, boom. Just when the host wanted his men to go behind the scenes to see what happened. In the corridor behind, there was suddenly the sound of thumping footsteps, the footsteps were very heavy, every step seemed to be stepping on the heart of the host. Gollum. When the host heard the heavy footsteps in the corridor, he swallowed unconsciously. Just by the sound, he could imagine what kind of monster it was. Hush! Azura Unicorn Immortal pouted her mouth into a long tube shape, took a breath, and white smoke spewed out from Azura Unicorn Immortal's mouth. The figure of Azura Unicorn finally appeared. What is this? It seems that we don't have this item in the auction. The host was taken aback when he saw the monstrous figure of Azura Unicorn, and pointed at Azura Unicorn. What is this? Is it a strange species caught at the auction? Is it going to be auctioned? But he didn't wear a slave collar. This monster looks so powerful. Where did this guy come from? It doesn't look like a slave either. Look. There is another one behind him, it looks so scary. Not long after Azura Unicorn Immortal appeared, Gu Changtian in monster form also came out. The audience looked at Azura Unicorn Immortal and Gu Changtian, and became curious. Even those supernovas are no exception, but they all know about devil fruits. Most of them thought that Azura Unicorn Immortal and Gu Changtian must have eaten some devil fruit. Hey? What is this? I want to buy this. Seeing the Azura Unicorn, Saint Charos was not afraid, but pointed at the Azura Unicorn very excitedly, and said, Azura Unicorn Immortal, arrest those guys. By the way, don't kill them for now, they still have some uses. Gu Changtian pointed to the few Tianlong people who looked very stupid, and said to Azura One-Horned Immortal. The characters summoned by the system completely obey Gu Changtian's orders. Those idiots. Got it. Azura One-Horned Immortal looked at those Tianlong people, and gave an evil smile, the fat on his face trembled wildly, looking malicious. Azura One-Horned Immortal walked slowly towards those Tianlong people with his strong body. Hey! Stop, what are you doing? Guard, stop him quickly. The host looked at the moving Azura Unicorn Immortal, and immediately felt that something was wrong, and hurriedly called out to the guards of the auction, trying to stop Azura Unicorn Immortal. A group of guards at the auction heard the hosts yelling and rushed over to block the Azura Unicorn Immortal. They raised their guns and aimed at the Azura Unicorn Immortal. Don't move. If you move again, we will shoot. Monster! Get back quickly! Can't you hear me? Dozens of guards, with guns in their hands, pointed at Azura Unicorn Immortal and threatened. However, the faces of these guards were filled with fearful expressions. After all, to them, Azura Unicorn looks like a very scary guy they have never met before. Boom! 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 The guards saw that Azura Unicorn Fairy didn't listen to their advice, and directly pulled the trigger in their hands, firing at Azura Unicorn Fairy. All of a sudden, intensive firepower shot towards Azura Unicorn Immortal. The bullet hit the shell of Azura Unicorn Immortal, and a burst of sparks came out of the collision. However, the bullet that hit Azura Unicorn Immortal was bounced off directly, without causing the slightest damage to Azura Unicorn Immortal. Faced with the incoming bullets, Azura Unicorn Immortal didn't even dodge, and his steps didn't stop at all. The bullet hit Azura Unicorn, as if it didn't exist, and it couldn't have the slightest impact on Azura Unicorn. What kind of monster is this? The shell is too hard. It's terrible, the bullet was bounced off. How to do? The guard saw that his bullet hit Azura Unicorn Immortal's body, but it couldn't do any harm to him, and he became scared for a moment. The bullets were all bounced off. What a terrifying monster this must be! Not only them, but even the supernova stared at them, their faces full of curiosity and seriousness. As supernovas, they naturally have certain knowledge and strength. But they had never seen such a physical body before, and they bounced the bullet away just by relying on the physical body. What a strong body that must be! Hey, what kind of devil fruit ability is this? It looks so scary. Luo looked at the figure of Azura Unicorn Immortal with a solemn face, and said. He felt a huge threat from Azura Unicorn. He had never felt this level of danger in anyone before. Even Doflamingo never gave him this level of pressure. Chapter 4. What is this guy? It looks very powerful. Kid sat in the auditorium arrogantly, seeing the defensive power of Azura Unicorn's body, he was shocked. He had never seen such a terrifying defensive power. Hey, Robin, do you know what the Devil Fruit ability is? It's so powerful that even bullets can't penetrate his body. Usopp stared wide-eyed, looking at the Azura Unicorn who let the bullets shoot, and asked Nicole Robin in shock. I don't know either, it should be some weird devil fruit. Nicole Robin was also surprised, to be able to completely ignore bullets, how hard the body needs to be. The rest of the Straw Hat Pirates, without exception, all looked at Azura Unicorn with shocked faces. Even Luffy stayed where he was, looking at Azura Unicorn Immortal with bright eyes. What a group of weak ants! Azura Unicorn Immortal looked at the panic-stricken guard with a playful expression on his face. Then he raised his arm and punched the group of guards in front of him. What? Accompanied by screams, a group of guards were punched to pieces, and even their bodies were smashed to pieces. Azura Unicorn Immortal's punch almost killed half of the guards. The rest of the guards looked at Azura Unicorn Immortal with horror on their faces, and some guards couldn't even hold the guns in their hands steadily. It's not to blame for their lack of psychological quality, it's just that this scene is too scary. Many guards are dead without a whole body. They didn't even have the ability to resist in front of this monster. Don't come here. Monster. Facing such a terrifying Azura Unicorn, several guards even collapsed and fired wildly at Azura Unicorn. Azura Unicorn Immortal looked at the terrified guard in front of him, gave an evil laugh, and suddenly walked out. Azura Unicorn Immortal was extremely fast, and he came to the side of those guards in the blink of an eye. He raised his strong arm wearing a layer of carapace, aimed at the group of guards, and swept away with a fierce blow. Boom! With a burst of screams, the rest of the guards, like the previous group of guards, most of their bodies were directly smashed to pieces. The scene looked terrifying, it's like purgatory. Afterwards, Azura Unicorn Immortal jumped, his fat body was very agile. Behind him, the wings of the beetle fluttered, and landed in front of those celestial dragons. What are you doing? You untouchable! Get down and be my slave! Saint Charos looked at the Azura Unicorn Immortal who jumped in front of him, and there was no expression of fear on his face, instead he cursed at Azura Unicorn Immortal. As a Tianlong man, he has never seen anyone who dared to disobey his orders. Azura Unicorn Immortal is in his consciousness, and he dare not defy him. What does that monster want to do? Why did he run in front of the Tianlong Ren? Seeing that Azura Unicorn actually jumped in front of Tianlong Ren, a pirate said with a shocked expression on his face. I don't know. Could he be? No, no one would dare to do that. That monster ran in front of the Tianlong Ren, did he want to beg for mercy? Probably, after all, offending the Tianlong people will attract the Admiral. It's scary, it feels like something big is going to happen. The other viewers, seeing this scene, were also filled with shock and curiosity, wanting to know what that monster wanted to do. A group of supernova pirates also held their breaths and stared at Azura Unicorn Immortal. Bastard! How dare you scold me, you want to kill you now. However, the boss said that you are still useful, then let's beat you to death first. As soon as the words fell, Azura Unicorn Immortal raised his huge fist and punched St. Charles Rose. Puff! The hood worn on St. Charles's head was instantly shattered, he spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes were wide open, and many bones on his body were broken. The body of St. Charles Rose fell heavily to the ground. The broken part of his body was bleeding continuously, and his body was twitching continuously. It looked extremely miserable. Then Azura Unicorn punched the rushing celestial dragon guards, and Azura Unicorn's huge power was terrifying. The guards of the Tianlong people, including several people from the CP organization, were directly sent flying out. The body crashed into the auction building. Those members of the CP organization even smashed a hole in the building of the auction and flew further away. Quiet! Deathly quiet. At this moment, the whole world seemed to be quiet, and everyone opened their eyes wide, watching the scene in front of them. Snapped. A pirate suddenly slapped himself, staring blankly at his palm. The burning on his face told him that this was not a dream. Shock point plus 60. Shock point plus 40. Shock point plus 10. Although the strength of this group of audience is not very strong, but they witnessed the scene of Tianlong people being beaten, which was completely beyond their imagination, so they contributed a lot of shocking points. The Tianlong Ren were beaten. Suddenly, a cracking sound broke the quiet auction, and a pirate pointed in the direction of Ashura Unicorn with trembling fingers. His face was full of shock and fear. Run! The celestial dragon has been beaten. The Admiral is coming. It's over. It's over. Someone is so bold that he dares to attack the Tianlong people. This matter has nothing to do with me. I don't know anything. If I knew it earlier, I wouldn't have come here, and I have encountered such a thing. That broken shout also awakened everyone who was in a daze. All of a sudden, the auction was in chaos. Pirates are running around. They are pirates. Even if they didn't fight Tianlong people, the Navy generals will not show mercy to them. Captain, let's go to. A white humanoid bear creature, speaking to Trafalgar Law. It's really a lunatic who dares to attack the Tianlong people. Let's go to. The Admiral of the Navy is here, but it will be troublesome. Trafalgar Law said with a solemn face at this moment. The Admiral is also an invincible existence in their view. Dead. Dying. Luffy, let's run, the Admiral is coming. Usopp was so scared that tears flowed out, and he hugged Chopper tightly, trembling. Yet. Luffy, let's run. Chopper also said with fear on his face. Cammy hasn't been found yet, we have to look for Cammy first. Nami was also very scared at the moment, her body was trembling a little, but she still remembered the purpose of coming here. Chapter 5. Nicole Robin's expression was very gloomy at the moment, even cold sweat appeared on her face. She has seen the horror of the Admiral before, it is a monster-level existence, completely invincible. Now the Admiral is coming, which brings back the shadow of Nicole Robin's heart. Nami is right, we need to find Cammy first. Thinking of the strength of the Admiral, Luffy's expression became very solemn. They have met Admiral Aokiji before. In front of Admiral Aokiji, they have no ability to fight back. That sense of powerlessness deeply stimulated Luffy's heart. Everyone follow me, Cammy may be behind the auction. A group of Straw Hat pirates also knew their purpose of coming here. Although they were very scared, they all went to the back of the auction to find Cammy. You dare to hit my son? You are finished. The Admiral is coming. You and your family must die. You must all die. His father, Charles Rose, pointed at Azura Unicorn and shouted. Completely unaware of what's going on now. Damn untouchables, you dare to beat my brother. All of you will die. The female Tianlong also cursed fiercely. Hush! Azura Unicorn Immortal pouted his mouth into a cylinder shape, and let out a deep breath of white air. Then the fist swung again. His father Charlos and that female celestial dragon were beaten so badly that they vomited blood, stared at their eyes, and had multiple fractures all over their bodies. Lying on the ground like a dead dog, it is extremely miserable. Wang Wang! The dog with the glass hood saw his master being beaten, barked a few times, and rushed towards Azura Unicorn Immortal. Azura Unicorn Immortal looked at the rushing dog, with a look of disdain on his face, and kicked it fiercely. The dog was smashed to pieces in an instant. Gu Changtian just asked him not to kill those Tianlong people now, the dog they raised is not within the scope. Azura Unicorn Immortal, bring these damned idiots and come with me, let's go to a conspicuous place. Gu Changtian, who was behind him, spoke to Azura One-Horned Immortal. Killing these Tianlong people here, there are too few people to see. It's better to go to a conspicuous place and let people in the world see the scene of Tianlong people being killed with their own eyes. That kind of scene must have shocked them more than indirectly hearing the news that the Tianlong people were killed, and they could gain more shock points. It is good. Immortal Ashura One-Horned Immortal grabbed the 3 Tianlong people who were lying on the ground, followed Gu Changtian's pace, and followed Gu Changtian out. The navy surrounding the auction is completely vulnerable in front of them. Even the current Gu Changtian can easily kill them. The first half of the Great Route. Naval Headquarters, Marin Vondo. Warring States is thinking about the current situation in the Marshal's office, and sitting beside him is the Admiral Huang Yuan who just reported the intelligence. At this moment, Zhang Guo frowned and his face was solemn. Now the situation on the sea is getting more and more chaotic. Especially in the New World, where the 4 emperors are entrenched and dominate one side. Blue blue blue. Blue blue blue. Just as Warring States was seriously correcting the documents, the phone bug on the desk suddenly rang. Warring States looked at the phone bug that suddenly rang, stopped what they were doing, and reached out to answer the phone bug. I'm Warring States, what's the matter? Picking up the phone bug, Sengoku asked. After all, this is the phone bug in the Marshal's office. If there is nothing to report, no one will call this phone bug. Warring States, something big happened. The Tianlong people were beaten in the Chambord Islands. You immediately send the Admiral to the Chambord Islands. Be sure to arrest the guy who dares to offend the Tianlong people. On the other end of the phone bug, Wu Liaoxing's voice came. In the Chambord Islands, the Tianlong people were beaten, and their world government naturally got the news immediately. What? Tianlong was beaten? There are such bold people in the Chambord Islands, who dare to attack the Tianlong people. Is it the group of rookie pirates who are about to enter the New World? Hearing Wu Liaoxing's words, Zhang Guo also showed a surprised expression on his face. After all, the beating of the Tianlong people basically hasn't happened for many years. Sengoku immediately thought of that group of outstanding rookie pirates. Seeing the Warring States like this, even the yellow ape next to him couldn't help turning his head away. It's scary. Huang Yuan pouted and said wretchedly. The voice of the phone bug was not low, and the yellow monkey beside him could hear it too. However, although Huang Yuan said it was scary, there was no fear on his face. What happened? Sengoku. Just as Zhang Guo hung up the phone, Staff Officer Crane walked in, looked at the solemn expression on Zhang Guo's face, and asked. The celestial dragons were beaten in the Chambord Islands. We are going to send the Admiral to dispatch now. Zhang Guo looked up at Staff Officer He who came in, and said. Although Staff Officer He's rank is only Vice Admiral, her status in the Navy is very high. The Tianlong people were beaten. Who is so bold? Is it the pirates who have been in the limelight recently? Staff Officer Crane was also very surprised when he heard that the Tianlongren had been beaten for the first time. After all, people in the sea basically know that once the Tianlong people are beaten, they will attract the Admiral of the Navy. Therefore, even though many people hate Tianlongren very much, they still dare not attack Tianlongren. According to the information provided by the world government, it seems that it's not the few popular pirates, but 2 devil fruit users of the animal department. Warring States said to Staff Officer Crane. He thought it was those pirates before, but the result was beyond his expectation. Let me go, I can solve this matter soon. Huang Yuan, who was sitting beside him, stood up slowly at this moment, and said. Then he walked out of the Marshal's office, ready to go to the Chambord Islands. Looking at the yellow ape who volunteered, Zhang Guo and he both agreed to his request. After all, the celestial dragons were beaten, and their navy had to dispatch admirals, and the yellow monkey was just right. Then what is that? Look, what is that monster holding? The streets of Chambord Islands are also in chaos at this moment. Suddenly, a pirate saw Gu Changtian and Azura Unicorn Immortal, and immediately exclaimed. Is that they are holding Tianlongren in their hands. No way! How dare they treat Tianlong people like this? Aren't they afraid of the Admiral? What is this? A monster! What are they going to do? The pirate's voice immediately attracted the attention of others, and a group of people also exclaimed when they saw the thing that Ashura Unicorn Immortal was carrying. They are too familiar with that thing, judging from their clothing and the incomplete parts of the broken glass hood, those people are definitely Tianlong people. Big news! Big news! These two monsters actually beat the Tianlong people, and even arrested them. Hurry up and tell the president this news. The president will definitely reward us. Hurry up, hurry up. Don't miss any shots. Behind Gu Changtian and Ashura Unicorn Immortal, there were a few reporters following them, taking pictures of them frantically. Shock point +5. Shock point +6. Shock point +5. In Gu Changtian's mind, the sound of system prompts kept ringing. However, their individual shock points are obviously not as high as the auction. The strength of the shocking object and the degree of shocking are different, and there will be different numbers of shocking points. The strength of this group of people outside is obviously not as good as that of the group at the auction. However, there are quite a lot of people outside the auction. Although the individual shock points are not high, they add up to a good harvest. Chapter 6. Okay, here we go. Gu Changtian brought Ashura Unicorn Immortal to a relatively tall building. There are still many reporters frantically taking pictures. After all, for them, this may be an opportunity to make them soar. Gentlemen, ladies, I am Gu Changtian, the founder of the First Legion. Gu Changtian in monster form greeted the reporters below who were taking pictures, making them deeply remember what he said. After all, this was his way to gain shock points. The First Legion is a force that Gu Changtian is planning to create. Joining the Navy is out of the question. Moreover, the character he summons comes from the world of One Punch Man. If it is called the One Punch Pirates, the name is not aggressive enough. So he thought of a domineering name that fits the summoned character, the First Legion. After all, there is a one in the name, and it sounds very domineering. First Legion? What's that? His First Legion sounds so powerful. What kind of mysterious organization? Why haven't I heard of it before? First Legion? What are they going to do? After hearing Gu Changtian's introduction, a group of reporters below, as well as many spectators who were not afraid of death, suddenly started to speculate. After all, the name of the First Legion just sounds very powerful. We didn't come here today for no reason. Our First Legion is going to perform a show for everyone, Ashura Unicorn. Gu Changtian looked at the commotion crowd below, gave an evil smile, and said to them. Hush! Finally it's me. You idiots, look out! Ashura Unicorn Immortal looked at the crowd below with a ferocious expression on his face. Then, the strong arm grabbed St. Charles' Rose and tossed it lightly into the air. When St. Charles fell, he clenched his huge fist and punched St. Charles. Boom! St. Charles Rose's body, like a watermelon, was directly smashed to pieces. Hiss! At this moment, the whole world seemed to be quiet again, and the commotional crowd below were all quiet at this moment. All of them stared at Ashura Unicorn Immortal and dumbfounded, their eyes almost popped out, their mouths opened wide, as if they saw something unbelievable. Gollum! Everyone couldn't help but get chills down their backs, the brain didn't have time to react, and stared blankly at the scene in front of him. Before waiting for any other reaction from the people below, Ashura Unicorn threw out the other two celestial dragons and killed them in the same way. He. A reporter stretched out his finger and pointed tremblingly at Ashura Unicorn Immortal, unable to say a word for a long time. It's over. It's over. Tianlongren is dead. How is it possible? This is not true. How could someone dare to kill Tianlong people? Run! It's over. Tianlongren is dead. It's terrifying. What kind of force is the First Legion? They dare to kill the Tianlongren. I don't know anything. It has nothing to do with me. It took a long time for this group of reporters to react. For a moment, even this group of bold people were frightened. Those are Tianlong people, how could anyone dare to kill them? There are also a few reporters who are not afraid of death, frantically pressing the button to take pictures of this shocking scene. If such photos are taken out and sold to those news agencies, they will definitely earn a lot of Bailey. System, open the domineering mall. Seeing that the shock point was almost obtained, Changtian shouted to the system in his mind. Domineering is very important in the world of One Piece. If you want to become a strong man, you must master domineering. And the Admiral may already be on his way. The Admiral is a natural devil fruit ability user. If they don't have armed domineering, they can't do harm to the Admiral at all. Elementary armed domineering, 20,000 shock points. Intermediate armed domineering, 60,000 shock points. Elementary knowledge and domineering, 20,000 shock points. Intermediate knowledge and domineering, 60,000 shock points. Elementary domineering, 60,000 shock points. Intermediate domineering 200,000 shock points. Then, the domineering mall on the system called, and there appeared a series of domineering types that could be purchased. However, all domineering types are only primary and intermediate. If you want to be advanced, you have to exercise yourself. Changtian glanced at his shock point. Shock point, 85,600. System, buy intermediate level armed domineering and primary level knowledge colored domineering for Ashura Unicorn Immortal. Changtian said to the system. If nothing else, Admiral Kizaru is coming. With my own strength, it's okay to deal with some Navy miscellaneous fish, but if it's to deal with the Admiral, it's still not enough. Therefore, the Admiral must hand it over to Ashura Unicorn to deal with it. It doesn't matter if you want to be domineering or not, but the Ashura Unicorn Immortal must be domineering. And with domineering, the strength of Ashura Unicorn Immortal will become even stronger. Hello, anyone? It seems that there is no one, how strange. A middle-aged man with a height of about 3 meters, wearing yellow stripes and a Navy Justice cape, with a slightly wretched complexion, said to a phone bug. It's the Admiral Huang Yuan. At this moment, there are 2 little pirates hiding behind a building, looking at the Navy, they said in shock. Judging from the appearance of that Navy, it is the Admiral Huang Yuan who came to support the Chambord Islands. Hey, no way, are you going to attack the Admiral? A companion next to him said to his companion with a gun, his face was full of shock and fear. That's the Admiral, just the sound of it made him terrified, let alone attack the Admiral. This is a good opportunity. As long as we kill the Admiral, we'll be famous. The pirate with the gun widened his eyes and said. Although he was also very scared, but faced with the opportunity to become famous in one fell swoop, he still chose to fight and attack the Admiral. If he succeeds, he will become a world-famous big pirate in one fell swoop. At that time, there will be countless wealth and beauties. Then, the pirate with the gun pulled the trigger without waiting for the companion next to him to speak. A bullet shot straight out of the gun barrel, directly piercing the yellow ape's forehead. Did you make it? The pirate looked at the yellow monkey who was shot through the forehead by himself, and said doubtfully. But there is no time to make them happy. They saw that Huang Yuan was still shouting at the phone bug like a normal person. No one there? Huang Yuan asked suspiciously, and then looked at the 2 pirates. Chapter 7. In the blink of an eye, the yellow monkey came to the side of the 2 pirates. Do you know where the 2 people who beat the Tianlong people are? Huang Yuan looked at the 2 terrified pirates in front of him, and instead of attacking them immediately, he asked them for directions. The tone is like facing ordinary people. It seemed that he didn't know what happened just now. I don't know. The two of them looked at the yellow ape who was shot through the forehead and was still safe and sound. Their bodies trembled in fright, and they couldn't speak fluently. That's it. But, you seem to be pirates. Huang Yuan looked at them with a flat tone, but the next moment he raised his foot and kicked towards them. There was a dazzling yellow light on the legs of the yellow ape, and the speed was very fast. Before the two pirates had time to react, they were kicked out by the yellow monkey. It's so troublesome, which way should I go? After Huang Yuan kicked the two pirates away, he showed a harmless expression again. Hey, Admiral Kizaru, stop fooling around. We are coming. Just when Huang Yuan wanted to ask someone for directions again, Changtian and the two came over from a distance and said, "Is this the Admiral? It just looks like a stupid bastard. How could I hit it?" Azura Unicorn Immortal looked at the foolish appearance of the yellow ape, and sneered. "Hey? Who are you? Oh, I remembered that you are the two devil fruit users who beat the celestial dragon. It's really scary, it actually appeared openly." Huang Yuan pulled his wretched face together, pouted his lips, and said with a relaxed look. The powerful pirates in the sea are basically known to the yellow apes. As for Changtian and Azura Unicorn Immortal, the two of them have just appeared in front of the public. Huang Yuan just regarded them as a new pirate who just went to sea. "Bastard, what do you look like? Are you looking down on us? I want to show you, a guy who doesn't know the heights of heaven and earth, what it means to be strong." Azura One-Horned Immortal looked at the yellow ape's slender appearance, and was very upset, and suddenly felt that he was underestimated. Azura Unicorn shot out at a very fast speed, jumping back and forth on the surrounding buildings. Appearing again, the Azura Unicorn Immortal has jumped diagonally above the yellow ape. Azura Unicorn Immortal raised his huge arm, and punched the yellow ape fiercely. The fist is attached with a jet-black armed color domineering, and there are traces of purple in it. What? The moment Azura Unicorn Immortal made a move, Huang Yuan noticed something unusual. The strength of this devil fruit ability user should not be too weak. Huang Yuan looked at the Azura Unicorn Immortal who was attacking, and raised his leg. The shining fruit ability is activated, bursts of dazzling yellow light appear on the legs, slanted upward towards the fist of Azura Unicorn Fairy. Boom! The impact of the collision between the two is extremely powerful. A violent air wave spread outward from the position where the two fought. Even the surrounding buildings were blown down by the air wave. Huang Yuan looked at the Azura Unicorn Immortal opposite, and some seriousness began to appear on his face. The yellow ape's legs and feet exerted strength, and it ejected, opening the distance from Azura Unicorn Immortal. It's scary. It seems that you are not ordinary pirates, the new pirates don't have the strength like yours. Which pirate group are you from? At this moment, Huang Yuan's face was 5 points wretched and 5 points solemn. The strength of the target of this mission was somewhat beyond his expectations. Hey? What do you think I am? I'm the strongest fighter in the House of Evolution, Azura Unicorn. Now a cadre of the First Legion. However, you guys also have some strength, but you are definitely not my opponent. Azura Unicorn Immortal looked at the yellow ape and said. Huang Yuan's strength is also good, so he told Huang Yuan's name. If Yellow Ape was a weak person, Azura One-Horned Immortal would not even tell him his name, but would kill him directly. First Legion? What is that? Is it the name of a pirate group? 8-foot mirror. Huang Yuan put his hands in front of his body and made a circle. A yellow beam of light shot out from the hands of the yellow ape, and after several refractions, the yellow beam of light came behind Azura Unicorn Immortal. Afterwards, Huang Yuan's whole body turned into a large number of yellow light particles, moving along with the beam of light. Gathering together again, the yellow ape has come behind Azura Unicorn Immortal. Have you ever been kicked by the speed of light? Huang Yuan looked at the Azura Unicorn Immortal in front of him and said. Before Ashura One-Horned Fairy could answer, Huang Yuan stretched out one leg and swept towards Ashura One-Horned Fairy. The light particles above are extremely dazzling, and the speed is very fast. Ashura Unicorn Immortal didn't have time to dodge, so he put his arms in front of him to resist. Boom! The speed of light kicked on the body of Ashura Unicorn Immortal, and even Ashura Unicorn Immortal's huge body couldn't help but retreat. Boom! Huang Yuan stretched out his hands and fingers, and shot a few lasers at Ashura Unicorn Immortal. The yellow laser attack hit the position of Ashura Unicorn, and a violent explosion broke out. The whole ground was shaking. The flames from the explosion looked terrifying. After the explosion dissipated, the somewhat embarrassed figure of Ashura Unicorn was revealed. It's really scary. It's not dead, it's as strong as a monster. Huang Yuan looked at the somewhat embarrassed Ashura Unicorn Immortal, and sarcastically said. However, the shock in Huang Yuan's heart was not lacking at all. After receiving such attack power, this guy just looks a little embarrassed. Even if he was injured, it was probably only a minor injury. Hush! Bastard, you've pissed me off. I'm going to make you pay. Ashura mode. Hearing Huang Yuan's slightly mocking tone, Ashura Unicorn Immortal felt that he had been greatly insulted. Ashura Unicorn Immortal shouted, furiously furious, his whole body suddenly underwent a huge change. The body keeps rising, and the tentacles on the head keep extending. There is also a long tentacle sticking out from the back of the neck. The color of the body has undergone a huge change, from the original brownish yellow to blue and green. The eyes became extremely scarlet, and the whole figure looked hideous. This appearance is the appearance of Ashura Unicorn Immortal in Ashura mode. Not only his appearance, but his strength has also been greatly improved. You bastard! You said that to me. You're going to die here today. In this mode, my strength will be greatly improved, but I can't control this mode very well. After killing you, I will make a fuss in this place for 7 days and 7 nights. Can you stop me, Admiral? Chapter 8. As soon as the words fell, Ashura Unicorn Immortal suddenly disappeared in place. What? When Huang Yuan saw the greatly changed Ashura Unicorn Immortal, he was startled, and a bad premonition came to his heart. After the sudden disappearance of Ashura Unicorn Immortal, Huang Yuan's bad premonition became even stronger. Tiankong Cloud Sword. Huang Yuan didn't dare to be careless, he waved his hands, and pulled out a flashing and sharp lightsaber. Hey! Where are you looking? Ashura Unicorn Immortal suddenly appeared behind Huang Yuan. At this moment, the body of Ashura Unicorn Immortal is very big. Even in front of Huang Yuan's height of about 3 meters, he is still like a little giant. Ashura Unicorn Immortal raised his huge fist, and punched the yellow ape fiercely. The domineering look of knowledge gave an early warning in Huang Yuan's brain, and a dangerous signal rushed to Huang Yuan's brain. Huang Yuan held the Tiankanjiun sword in his hands with both hands, and slashed fiercely behind him. It collided with the huge fist of Ashura Unicorn Immortal. The Ashura Unicorn Immortal in Ashura mode has greatly improved his strength in all aspects of his body. After Huang Yuan's Tiankanjiun sword collided with Ashura Unicorn Immortal's fist, he was repelled in just a moment. This guy! At this moment, Huang Yuan's face was more solemn than ever. The strength of the Ashura Unicorn Immortal in this state is completely beyond Huang Yuan's expectations. Even the strength is already stronger than him. Swish! Before Huang Yuan had a rest, Ashura One-Horned Immortal charged towards Huang Yuan with murderous aura again. Fist waving, very fast. Ashura Unicorn Immortal is like a prehistoric beast, constantly attacking the yellow ape crazily. Ashura Unicorn Immortal's strength is already strong, and Gu Changtian has purchased an intermediate-level armed domineering spirit for him, which makes Ashura Unicorn Immortal's strength even stronger. Huang Yuan felt an unprecedented sense of crisis at this moment. Use your own sparkling fruit ability to keep dodging. He didn't dare to confront Ashura Unicorn Immortal head-on. As a user with the ability of Shining Fruit, Huang Yuan is very fast. For a moment, under the attack of Azura Unicorn Immortal, he dodged with difficulty. However, at this moment, Huang Yuan is already at a disadvantage. Look! What's going on over there? A flustered pirate shouted, pointing at the location where Azura Unicorn and the Yellow Ape were fighting. The face is full of shock and panic. The battle between Azura Unicorn Immortal and Yellow Ape spread over a wide range. Buildings continue to collapse, and violent explosions continue to occur. This kind of scene is completely beyond the imagination of this pirate. That was a terrifying battle. It seems like two people are fighting. How is that possible? How could it be that two people were fighting? How could the scene of a human battle be so terrifying? It's the Admiral. It's the Admiral fighting a monster. What the hell is that monster? It can fight the Admiral. Too powerful. Where did that monster come from? Not only the pirate, but other pirates in the Chambord Islands, as well as ordinary residents, have also discovered the vision of the battle in the distance. After seeing such a terrifying scene, everyone couldn't help exclaiming. Is Mr. Huang Yuan there? It seems that I am fighting someone. I have to finish the matter here quickly and meet up with Mr. Huang Yuan. Zhang Doan looked at the direction where Huang Yuan and Azura Unicorn were fighting, and muttered. There are still a few pacifists around. Hey, Luffy, look over there. What happened there? It looks so scary. Usopp pointed to the direction where the Yellow Ape and Azura Unicorn were fighting, and said to Luffy with a terrified expression. Is that Admiral? Nicole Robin stared blankly at the fighting figure in the distance, her face was full of shock and disbelief. Such a terrifying combat power can only be possessed by an Admiral of the Navy. And what shocked Nicole Robin the most was that the Admiral was at a disadvantage. In the eyes of Nicole Robin, the invincible Admiral seemed to be completely at a disadvantage at this moment. This really broke Nicole Robin's impression of the Admiral. Now is not the time to care about there, we have to deal with the immediate troubles first. Although Nami was also very shocked by the battle there, but now, there is not much time left for them. There are many navies in front of them, and there are two identical bears. Captain! Beppo shouted to Luo, who was staring at the days in the distance. That level of battle is not something we can participate in. Let's solve the troubles in front of us first. Bibbo's yell brought Luo back from his thoughts and said. That terrifying fighting power really shocked Luo. If there is such terrifying strength, even if the opponent is Shishibukai Doflamingo, he can easily defeat him. What a monster! It's so powerful! Who is that person who fought with the Admiral? Why haven't I heard of it before? Kid saw the battle between Azura Unicorn Immortal and Yellow Ape, his face was covered with cold sweat. He has never encountered such a terrifying combat power. And that monster seemed to be pressing down on the Admiral to fight. However, he couldn't see clearly, because the speed of the two of them was too fast, and he couldn't even see their movements clearly. It can only be vaguely judged. President, look quickly. Did you see it? What a fierce battle. Now our newspaper will be a hit. A middle-aged reporter in a black suit, holding a live broadcast device, passed the battle footage to Morgans, the president of the World Economic News Agency. Good. Great. Another monster. This is a strong man that no one knows. Even the Admiral is not necessarily an opponent. Hurry up and take a picture. Be sure to put it on the front page of the next newspaper. In the temporary headquarters of the World Economic News Agency, a big human-shaped bird in a black suit and a black top hat looked at the screen with excitement. He is the president of the World Economic News Agency, Morgans, the zoology department, the owner of the bird fruit. Are young people nowadays so powerful? To be able to suppress the Admiral to such an extent? Oh, forget it, this is something for their new generation, I don't care about it as an old man. Hades King Lele looked at the scene of the Yellow Ape fighting the Azura Unicorn Immortal, smiled slightly, and said. At this moment, Pluto Lely was quite shocked in his heart. His strength is relatively strong, and he can clearly see the situation of the battle. It's not like those supernovas at all, they just know a vague situation, and they can't even see who is fighting. Only in this way, Pluto Raleigh was even more shocked. Because he can clearly know what kind of disadvantage the yellow ape is in. It can be said that the Devil Fruit ability user is completely suppressing the yellow monkey. The sudden appearance of a combat power of this level, even the king of the underworld, Lely, couldn't help but be surprised. Chapter 9. On the Chambord Islands, battles between navies and pirates are everywhere at the moment. Especially the battle between the yellow ape and the Azura unicorn is the most terrifying. Where did this monster come from? It's so terrifying. Huang Yuan, who was struggling to defend, was very surprised at the moment, secretly thought. He was fighting the Azura unicorn immortal head-on, and he could clearly feel the terrifying combat power of the Azura unicorn immortal. Boom! With a little carelessness, Huang Yuan was directly hit on the body by a huge fist. The 3-meter-long body of Huang Yuan flew upside down in an instant. It bumped into several buildings on the way, and finally stopped. At this moment, Huang Yuan's condition is very bad, his clothes are covered with dust, and there is a trace of blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. And the crazy Azura unicorn didn't give the yellow monkey a chance to breathe, and shot towards the yellow monkey again, full of murderous aura. Looks like I'm going to ask the Navy headquarters for support. Hey? Where's my phone bug? Faced with the situation before him, Huang Yuan lost his usual relaxed demeanor, and wanted to take out the phone bug and ask the Navy headquarters for help. But when I touched my pocket with the phone bug was gone. Puff! The yellow ape, who was slightly distracted and confused, was once again hit by the fist of Azura unicorn immortal. The whole person flew upside down again, and the clothes on his body were all broken, a mouthful of blood spit out from the mouth. Boom! 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 This time the yellow ape flew farther backwards, and penetrated more buildings in the middle. No, I can't go on like this anymore, I'm not this guy's opponent. You have to go back to the Navy headquarters to report the situation. The yellow ape who was knocked down turned into light particles in a hurry, stood up, and said secretly. Blood flowed out of his mouth involuntarily. He has suffered serious injuries now. If he continues to fight, he may be in danger. And with him alone, he is definitely not the opponent of this monster. If you continue to fight, you will only make yourself more dangerous. Thinking of this, the expression on Huang Yuan's face became firm. 8-foot mirror. Huang Yuan put his hands in front of him, forming a circle, and a yellow beam of light burst out from the circle, shooting towards the distance. Huang Yuan decided not to fight anymore. He is no match for this monster, and it is meaningless to continue fighting. Afterwards, the yellow ape turned into light particles and fled into the distance. And the irrational Azura unicorn immortal, although he rushed towards the yellow ape quickly. However, facing the yellow ape 8-foot mirror, there was still no time to catch up. Seeing the yellow ape who ran away and disappeared, the eyes of Azura unicorn immortal became even more scarlet. Azura unicorn immortal started fighting directly towards other buildings. Ah! Monster! Run! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! What's going on? Where did this monster come from? Why did he come to destroy the town? It's scary. Ah! The Azura unicorn immortal is constantly destroying the town. And when you meet people, whether they are pirates or marines, you will be attacked by Azura unicorn immortal. System: consume -shock points to restore Azura unicorn immortal to sanity. Changtian also felt a bit of a headache when he looked at the Azura unicorn immortal who was fighting. However, fortunately, he can restore the sanity of Azura unicorn immortal by consuming shock points. Moreover, the battle between Azura unicorn immortal and yellow ape just now brought him a lot of shock points, and he didn't care about the dash shock points. Following this, Changtian deducted dash shock points, and Ashura Unicorn Immortal gradually regained his sanity. You are really making a fuss. Ashura Unicorn Immortal. The Admiral is gone, let's leave now. Let's do something big. Let the world welcome us. Changtian looked at Ashura Unicorn Immortal who had regained his senses, and said. Ignoring the horrified gazes of the people around, Changtian left directly with Ashura Unicorn Immortal. Changtian decided to occupy a member country of the world government. Those joining countries donate heavenly gold to the world government every year, and the world government is responsible for protecting the security of these joining countries. Occupying a member country of the world government is equivalent to slapping the face of the world government. Even the 4 emperor pirates dare not easily occupy the franchise country. It can be seen the seriousness of the invasion and occupation of the franchise countries. But Changtian doesn't care so much. The more serious the matter is, the more benefits he gets. The matter of the Chambord Islands, so far, has contributed more than 20 shock points to myself. And this hasn't been spread through the news on a large scale. Once the killing of the Tianlong people is spread by those reporters, Changtian will be able to get more shock points. System, open them all, buy intermediate level armed domineering, and intermediate level knowledge colored domineering. Changtian said to the system in his mind. During the fight between Ashura Unicorn Immortal and Yellow Ape, when Changtian's shock points rose to dash, he bought the middle level knowledge and domineering for Ashura Unicorn Immortal. With their current strength, although there are only 2 of them, they are considered top in the sea. At the same time that Changtian and the others left, newspapers about this incident were quickly printed and spread. Big event! Big event! The Tianlong people were killed. The Admiral was defeated and fled. In the Chambord Islands, 2 unknown devil fruit-capable users, who claimed to be the First Legion, openly killed 3 Tianlong people. The Admiral of the Navy went to arrest them, but they were beaten and fled. On the front pages of each newspaper, the eye-catching headlines can be seen at a glance. The news recorded above is even more shocking. It is the incident that happened in the Chambord Islands. There are also photos of Ashura Unicorn killing Celestial Dragon Man, Ashura Unicorn fighting with Yellow Ape, and the last photo of Yellow Ape running away. The picture on the photo shows the horror of Ashura Unicorn to the fullest. It's horrible. What are these 2 monsters? How dare they kill Tianlong people in public? And they killed 3. The First Legion? Why haven't I heard of it before? They are too courageous. That's the Admiral, that blue-green monster is too powerful. It beat the Admiral and fled. It's unbelievable that someone dared to kill the Tianlong people. And even defeated the Admiral. What the hell is the First Legion? Why are they so terrifying? With the publication of the newspaper, people all over the world can read the content of the newspaper. Anyone who saw the content in the newspaper was shocked by the content in the newspaper. They couldn't believe that someone dared to kill the world's noble Tianlong people. And also defeated the most powerful Admiral of the Navy headquarters. Chapter 10. Great Route. Com Zone, 9 Snake Island. This is the territory of Boya Hankook, Shishibukai, the king. Sister, something big has happened, just look at what happened. Boa Marigold took the newspaper she just got, and ran into Hancock's bedroom in a panic. Marigold, why are you so flustered? Report something properly. At this moment, Hancock is eating in the bedroom, and there is a white snake beside him. Seeing Marigold rushing in a hurry, Hancock stopped eating and said, "Thanks to this being her younger sister, if it was someone else who broke into her bedroom like this, she would have been angry a long time ago. No, sister. Look at today's newspaper, something big has happened." Marigold quickly handed over the newspaper, speaking in a very anxious tone, as if something unacceptable happened to her. Recently, the sea is very turbulent, and it is normal for major events to happen. Although Hancock said so, seeing Marigold's appearance made him curious, so he picked up the newspaper and read it. What? How is it possible? After Hancock read the contents of the newspaper, he looked at the newspaper in disbelief. Covering his mouth with his hands, there seemed to be tears in his eyes. How could anyone dare to do such a thing? Hancock suppressed his emotions, as if he was going to cry the next moment. Empress Hancock has been staring at the reports and pictures of the killing of the celestial dragon. Even the news that the Admiral was defeated was ignored by her elder sister. Seeing the Empress's appearance, Marigold couldn't help but let out a small cry. She knows how much her sister hates the Tianlong people. For the three of them, the period when they were slaves by the Tianlong people when they were young was their most miserable, helpless, and darkest period of time. But the Tianlong people are nobles in the world, with their strength and their current status. The three sisters have no chance of revenge at all. This incident has been deeply hurting their hearts. Marigold, from now on, the two of them will be the distinguished guests of our Nine Snakes Island. If they come to Nine Snakes Island, no one must offend, they must treat them well. Empress Hancock suddenly spoke up and said to Marigold. His tone was very firm, and there was even a look of admiration in his eyes. Elder sister. Marigold yelled softly when she heard Empress Hancock's order. Men are not allowed to enter their Nine Snake Island, so the two devil fruit users are obviously men. And they look very scary, they are not good people at first sight. Although they killed the Tianlong people, she also admired them very much. However, that is the long-standing rule of their Nine Snake Island. No need to say any more, Marigold, they killed the Tianlong people, they are my benefactors. I must not allow people from Nine Snake Island to be rude to them. Empress Hancock resolutely said to Marigold. This incident had a great impact on her. Tianlong Ren is her nightmare, a nightmare all along. Now someone dares to kill Tianlong Ren, that is her benefactor. She will never allow the people of Ju Snake Island to be rude to them. Shiji, I'm afraid you can't do this. At this time, Granny Nu came in from the outside and said. She also read the latest issue of the newspaper, and was very shocked by what happened in the Chambord Islands. Those two people killed the Tianlong people, and even defeated the Admiral. If nothing else, the world will definitely retaliate against them. If, at this time, their Nine Snake Island takes those two people in, their Ju Snake Island will fall into a place of eternal doom. Snake Girl, you are the king of Amazon Lily now, you have to think about your people. Granny Nu was talking, and walked towards Hancock slowly. Talkie. Old woman. I don't need you to teach me. Looking at Granny Nu who was preaching to him, Hancock was very angry and threw her out. Sister. I'm going to carry out the order now. Marigold looked at Granny Nu who was thrown out, as if she had gotten used to it. He responded to Hancock and went down to execute the order. The New World, the territory of the Whitebeard pirates. Aboard the Moby Dick. Marco was sitting on the edge of the Mespeak, with a worried face, as if he was thinking about something. Captain Marco, something is wrong. Suddenly, a pirate's shout attracted Marco's attention. What happened? Could it be the latest news from Ace? Marco looked a little anxious. The captain of Whitebeard's second team, Fire Fist Ace, was captured by the traitor Blackbeard. And that bastard Blackbeard used Fire Fist Ace to make a deal with the world government. No, Captain Marco, you can see for yourself. That little pirate hurriedly handed the newspaper to Marco. Marco looked at the fellow pirates who were so flustered, and it wasn't about Ace's information, so he was also a little curious about what happened. Picking up the newspaper handed over, Marco read it curiously. Dragon Man was killed. The Admiral was defeated. In Chambords. How is it possible? Dad. Dad. Something big has happened. After seeing the content in the newspaper, Marco's face suddenly became shocked, and he couldn't help but exclaimed. Tian Longren was killed, Admiral Huang Yuan was beaten and fled, both of them are big events. Especially the Tianlong people, even if they are the Whitebeard pirates, they dare not provoke them easily. Let alone kill them. But now, those two people who had never appeared before actually killed the Tianlongren, and even killed 3 of them. Even the yellow ape was defeated. What happened? Marco. Is it news about Ace? Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world, was sitting on a huge seat at the moment, looking at Marco who was a little flustered, and said. At this moment, Whitebeard's condition is not very good, his whole body is covered with hanging bottles, and he is no longer at his peak in the past. Father, it's not the news about Ace, but the Tianlong people were killed, and 3 of them were killed. When Marco heard Whitebeard's question, he quickly answered and handed over the newspaper. Hey? Tianlong people were killed. Whitebeard was also very curious when he heard that 3 Tianlong people had been killed, so he picked up the newspaper and read it. After reading the content in the newspaper, the face of the most powerful man in the world also showed a different expression. Gu la 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 la. These 2 guys are really bold, they dare to kill Tianlong people. And the strength is not bad, he was able to defeat that brat Huang Yuan. It seems that there is a headache from the Warring States period. Gu la 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 la. After reading the contents of the newspaper, Whitebeard was also a little surprised. Those 2 people killed the world's noble Tianlong people. Even he, who is called the most powerful man in the world, has never killed a Tianlongren. Because he deeply knows what kind of status the Tianlong people have, and killing the Tianlong people will cause a lot of trouble. The world government will definitely try its best to destroy them. Chapter 11. The second half of the Great Route. New World, Ghost Island. This is the territory of Kaido, the 4 emperors and 100 beasts. The sky is covered with overcast clouds, and there will be terrifying lightning flashes from time to time. Although it is daytime, it looks extremely depressing. Grumpy grumpy. Bei Shaokai was mostly lying on a huge seat, holding a huge wine gourd, drinking non-stop. Boss Kaido, something big happened on the sea. Dragon Man was killed. The Admiral was also defeated. And the people who defeated the Admiral seemed to be 2 unknown newcomers. Just when Kaido was drinking to his heart's content, Yan Huanjin walked in, holding a newspaper in his hand, and said to Beast Kaido. Hey? What did you say? The Tianlong people were killed. Kaido was drunk at the moment, and after hearing the report from Yan Calamity, he asked with some doubts. Yes, Boss Kaido, in the Chambord Islands, 3 celestial dragons were killed, and the Admiral was also defeated. Yan Huanjin handed over the newspaper in his hand, and said with a serious face. These 2 things are not small things. Everything is a big event that caused a sensation in the world. And the person who did this turned out to be someone from the same faction. Did something like this happen? Did that old man with the white beard do it? Are they trying to fight the world government? Kaido murmured in surprise. After all, such a thing as killing a celestial dragon is very serious. Even if he is Beast Kaido, he has never killed a celestial dragon. Afterwards, Kaido took the newspaper handed over by Yan Zhuanjin, and read it seriously. Fire Fist Ace was captured by the world government, and Whitebeard cared about his crew very much. Therefore, the first thing Kaido thought of was that the Whitebeard pirates did it. Nah. It turned out to be done by 2 rookies who came out of nowhere. The world government is really a bunch of trash. 3 Tianlong people were killed by a rookie pirate group, and the Admiral was defeated by them. Nah. After reading the contents of the newspaper, Kaido laughed and said. Because Changtian didn't announce whether they were pirates or not, he just explained that they formed the First Legion. Morgans and Kaido naturally regarded Changtian and the others as pirates, and the First Legion was the name of their pirate group. After all, if an army similar to the Revolutionary Army is publicly established, then the matter is not so serious. That is simply looking for death. Jin, do you know where these two newcomers went? Kaido put down the newspaper in his hand, and asked about the fire ember. Boss Kaido, I don't know where they went yet, but they definitely didn't enter the new world. Our intelligence personnel have already gone to find their traces, and there should be their intelligence soon. Yan Calamity said to Kaido apologetically. Speed up the search for them, and once you find them, let them join our 100 Beasts Pirates. The strength of that group is good, and they are qualified to join our 100 Beasts Pirates. Beast Kaido ordered to the Flame Calamity Ember. Kaido thinks that blue-green guy is very good, he can be directly used as a big Kanban. And the red guy, although he didn't do anything. But it shouldn't be too weak. If they don't agree to join, then Beast Kaido will destroy them without hesitation. There are only so many territories in the new world, and when the new pirates enter the new world, they can only snatch the cake from the old ones. The outbreak of war is inevitable. Yes, Boss Kaido, I will immediately arrange for people to find their traces. Once I find them, I will send someone to get in touch with them. Yan Calamity threw away the newspaper in his hand and said to Kaido. Then he turned and left Kaido's room. Kaido in the room started to drink again after seeing the flames leave, but this time he was a little absent-minded, wondering what he was thinking. New world, all nations. The territory of the 4 emperors Big Mom. Cake. Give me cake. In a huge castle, a fierce voice suddenly sounded. And the person who made this voice was none other than Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors. Mom. Mom. Here comes the cake. Push the cake in quickly. Be careful. A little old man in a chef's costume heard Big Mom's shout, hurriedly led a group of chefs, and pushed a huge cake in. Cake. Cake. Delicious cakes. Big Mom looked at the huge cake in front of him, reached out to grab the cake, and ate it. After eating the cake, Big Mom couldn't help but make delicious noises. Mom, it seems that something big has happened again. At this moment, Sparrow, the eldest son of Big Mom, ran in a panic, holding a newspaper in his hand. Hey? Sparrow, what happened? How dare you disturb my delicious cake? Sparrow, I hope what you said is not a trivial matter. Big Mom, who was interrupted from eating the cake, seemed very angry, and looked at Sparrow angrily. Although Sparrow is the eldest son of Big Mom. However, if he interrupts Big Mom to eat cake for no reason, Big Mom will not let him go easily. Mom, the Tianlong people were killed. And Admiral Huang Yuan was defeated by those people when he went to support him. The navy has failed. Sparrow said with a somewhat excited expression. After all, such a big thing happened, even Sparrow, the eldest son of Big Mom, was very surprised. Especially killing 3 celestial dragons. Even if they are the Big Mom pirates, they dare not easily provoke the celestial dragons, let alone kill them. Hey? What did you say? The Tianlong people were killed. Bring the newspaper here. Big Mom stopped eating cake for a while after hearing Sparrow's words. He reached out and grabbed the newspaper that Sparrow handed over, and read it. After seeing the content in the newspaper, even Charlotte Lingling couldn't help being surprised. Mom! Those guys dared to kill 3 Tianlong people, they are really brave brats. The admiral sent by the navy was also defeated by them. The guys in the navy headquarters must have been pissed off. Are these 2 brats pretty good? Mom! After seeing the content in the newspaper, Big Mom couldn't help laughing and said. Their pirates and the world government's navy are deadly enemies. Seeing that the navy is losing money now, Charlotte Lingling couldn't help but taunt. Although Charlotte Lingling, on the surface called Gu Changtian and the other 2 bold brats. However, the heart attaches great importance to them. After all, he dared to kill Tianlong people, and he still killed 3, and defeated the admiral. It's not an ordinary pirate who can do it. However, those old guys from the world government will not let it go easily if they do such a thing. Next, you will attract the attention of the whole world. I don't know how long you can live. If you can enter the new world alive, let's get married. Mom. Charlotte Lingling looked at the photos in the newspaper and said with a big laugh. Sparrow. Charlotte Lingling suddenly threw away the newspaper in her hand and shouted at Sparrow. Yes, Mom. Sparrow heard Charlotte Lingling's call and immediately responded. There is some cold sweat on my face. Facing Big Mom, even if they are Big Mom's children, they have to be careful. Chapter 12. After discovering that the two people from the First Legion have entered the New World, send someone to marry them. Big Mom ordered Sparrow. Then I started to eat the cake with big mouthfuls. Yes. Mom. When Sparrow heard Big Mom's order, he didn't dare to disobey. He knows Big Mom's temper. If he disobeys Big Mom's order, even if he is the eldest son, it will be very dangerous. The first half of the Great Route. Naval Headquarters, Marin Vondo. At the moment, there are some senior generals sitting in the meeting room of the Admiral's headquarters. Admiral Aokiji, Admiral Akainu, Admiral Kizaru, Crane Staff Officer, etc., all rank at least Vice Admiral. At this moment, they were all sitting there quietly, with serious expressions on their faces. The atmosphere in the meeting room is very tense. I think everyone knows the seriousness of this incident. The Tianlong people were killed, and our navy even failed to capture them. Wuloxing is very angry about this action, and the description of our navy in the newspaper greatly reduces the deterrence of our navy at sea. Admiral Sengoku, standing in the main position, said in a very serious tone. This time their admiral also failed, and the yellow monkey was injured. He still understands Huang Yuan's strength. Although he is usually a little lazy, his strength is indeed very strong. But now, Huang Yuan was beaten and injured by those two pirates who came out of nowhere. That guy's strength is really extraordinary. Zhang Guo looked dignified, secretly thought in his heart. The current situation on the sea is very chaotic, and now such a powerful pirate suddenly appeared. The red-skinned devil fruit user, although he didn't make a move. However, since he stayed with that blue-green devil fruit ability user, his strength would definitely not be too weak. Warring States rubbed his head with some headaches. The appearance of these two people will make his future work even more troublesome. Warring States, this matter is our mistake. We underestimated the strength of those two people. In the past, we didn't have any information about those two people. We thought they were just new pirates, but we didn't expect them to be so powerful. Staff Officer Crane stood up at this moment, and said solemnly. Admirals are the highest combat power of the Navy headquarters, and now they have been defeated. And it was reported by the newspapers. The deterrent power of their navy on the sea has been greatly reduced. But anyway, our navy failed this time. That bastard Morgans actually reported our navy like that. The world government sent people to warn Morgans, but Morgans killed the agents of the world government. At this moment, Zhang Guo hated his teeth itching. He still has some understanding of the actions of the world government. Such a big thing happened. In order to save face, the world government must send someone to warn Morgans. However, Morgans actually killed the agent sent by the world government. Humph! Damn pirate! A group of malignant tumors on the sea will only keep causing trouble. The hot-tempered Akainu looked at the newspaper on the table and cursed. Akainu pursues absolute justice, and believes that anyone who belongs to a pirate deserves to die. As for Gu Changtian, although they have never admitted that they are pirates. But they killed the celestial dragons and fought the navy. The navy headquarters has identified them as pirates. It's scary. Huang Yuan looked at the dignified atmosphere in the meeting room, pouted and said wretchedly. And at this moment, there was another bandage exposed on Huang Yuan's chest. Obviously, the injury he suffered in the Chambord Islands has not healed yet. Huang Yuan, Tell me about the process of your battle with that person in detail. If you are serious, how sure are you of victory? Huang Yuan's obscene voice immediately attracted Staff He's attention and said, "Oh, that pirate is very strong, and his devil fruit ability seems to be able to transform again. In the first form, although the strength is very powerful, but it can still be dealt with. After the pirate transformed again, his strength has greatly increased. If you want to talk about the winning rate, it's about %." Seeing a group of marines, Huang Yuan focused his eyes on himself, and said casually. However, Huang Yuan's casual words buzzed the shocked heads of a group of high-ranking Navy officials. The winning rate is less than %? The Admiral is the highest combat power of the Navy headquarters. In front of that pirate, the winning rate was less than %. How powerful that pirate must be, could it be that he has reached the level of the 4 emperors? However, that pirate doesn't seem to be able to control that state very well. Once he uses that state, he will lose his mind. Huang Yuan noticed his tone and frightened everyone a little bit. Realizing that what he said was a bit too much, he opened his mouth to add. "Okay, be quiet." Zhang Guo looked at the commotion below and patted the table vigorously. "That blue-green pirate, we have determined his threat level. His strength is definitely no less than that of the 4 emperors among the pirates. Now we have to keep an eye on their movements and see what they are going to do. And the world government has fixed their bounty. That pirate named Changtian is offering a bounty of 5 million baileys. The Azura Unicorn Immortal is offering a bounty of 25 billion baileys." Warring States took out a document from the drawer, and announced to the senior naval officers. "What? 25 billion baileys? How could it be so high? This is the first time a reward has been offered. Could it be too high? It's understandable for a pirate with such strength to be offered a reward of 25 billion baileys. But that's the first time a reward has been offered. 25 billion baileys, even in the entire ocean, are considered the top." After hearing the bounties offered by Changtian and Azura Unicorn Immortal, a group of high-ranking Navy officials expressed their opinions one after another. Most of the Navy's top brass were shocked. After all, that was the first bounty offered by those 2 pirates, and it was set so high. Completely broke the previous practice. Everything is quiet. They are very powerful, and they also killed the Tian Longren. Such a bounty is completely acceptable. And this time the bounty was unanimously decided by the 5 old stars, no one can object. Warring States looked at the noisy navy below, patted the table to make them quiet, and said. It was the first time that such a bounty was offered, and he felt that it was a bit high. But they killed the Tianlong people after all, and they are so powerful. Such a bounty is totally appropriate. Chapter 13. The New World, the Kingdom of Dressrosa. This is the seat of Shishibukai, Doflamingo. Doflamingo is currently the king of the Kingdom of Dressrosa, and the Don Quixote family has completely controlled Dressrosa. Fu 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 fu. Fu 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 fu. In the palace of Dressrosa, there was a loud laughter of Doflamingo. Those stupid Tianlong people were killed. The Admiral also failed, how exciting! Doflamingo held the newspaper in his hand, and looked at the contents of the newspaper, feeling a bit refreshed. Doflamingo was originally a celestial dragon. But when he was young, his father took the family away from the holy land of Mary Joya. Lost the identity of Tianlong people. In order to regain his identity as a Tianlongren, he once killed his father with his own hands. But in the end, his request was rejected by the group of celestial dragons in Mary Joa. So he has always held a grudge against the Tianlong people. But now seeing that 3 Tianlong people were killed, he felt extremely refreshed in his heart. However, these 2 guys are really brave. How dare they kill the Tianlongren? And the strength is also very strong, even the guy who is Admiral Huang Yuan is no match for him. Doflamingo couldn't help being shocked when he looked at the picture in the newspaper showing the picture of Azura the one-horned immortal killing the celestial dragon. With his special status, he understands the privileges of Tianlong people better than others. Learn more about the consequences of killing a celestial dragon. Moreover, the world government is far from being as simple as it appears on the surface. It looks like the world is going to be in chaos. Phew 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 phew. It's so interesting. Let's make this world more chaotic. Doflamingo laughed, waved his hand, and threw the newspaper in his hand into the air. The first half of the Great Route. In an endless sea area, there are 2 pirate ships sailing. These 2 pirate ships are heading towards each other, and the distance is also very far. It seems that they are not from the same pirate group. Captain! There is a pirate ship ahead. On one of the pirate ships, a pirate standing on the deck holding a telescope suddenly yelled at the cabin. What? What kind of pirates are they? From the cabin of the pirate ship, a fat man with a height of -meters stepped out. He is the captain of this pirate group, with a bounty of 2,500 million baileys. I don't know, Captain, they didn't fly the pirate flag, but judging by their appearance, they must be a pirate ship. The pirate with the telescope carefully reported to the fat man. I'm afraid their captain is angry. Their captain's temper is very hot. If anyone accidentally offends the captain, he will definitely be thrown into the sea to feed the fish. Trash! You don't know any pirates. The big fat man glared at the pirate, and cursed fiercely, his eyes seemed to eat him up. Yes, the captain, I'm trash. The pirate with the binoculars was so frightened by the big fat man that he broke into a cold sweat, and his legs felt weak. Fire, fire me! Whatever pirate group they are. I'm a big pirate with a bounty of 2,500 million baileys. Wick! With a loud voice, Wick drew out the knife in his hand, and shouted at the pirates around him. The knife in his hand is waving wildly, looking majestic. Yes, Captain! Attack quickly, load the shells, and sink their pirate ship. Fire quickly, don't let those pirates escape. Kill them all, maybe they still have a lot of good things. After receiving Wick's order, a group of pirates immediately got busy. Run around, load the shells, and start bombarding that pirate ship. Boom! 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 The shells hit the sea surface, causing bursts of splashes. Although the shells did not hit the pirate ship was shaken by the explosions around it. Curries! What's going on? Where's the sound of the shells? Changtian, who was sleeping in the pirate ship, was suddenly awakened by an explosion, and the whole ship began to shake. Boss, we are being attacked. They are firing at us. Hearing Changtian's angry voice, Curries rushed in. Curries is a young man about -meters tall with a sword pinned to his waist. He is obviously a swordsman. This pirate ship was encountered by Changtian when he was about to leave the Chambord Islands. Most of the cotters on this pirate ship were killed by Changtian. Only those who were not so loyal to the original captain were left, which Changtian could easily control. After all, sailing on the sea is a very troublesome thing, requiring navigators, chefs, doctors, and the like. Changtian would not do these things. So I simply took in some younger brothers to do these chores. Curries was a cotter of the original pirate group, but Curries was not loyal to the original pirate group, but hated the captain of the original pirate group very much. Curries joined the original pirates to avenge his family. Because of insufficient strength, it has been lurking. And Changtian killed his captain, indirectly avenging him. What? Who is so bold? Dare to attack us? Isn't this the first half of the Great Route? When Changtian heard that someone had actually attacked them, he immediately became angry. This is the first half of the Great Voyage. With Azura Unicorn immortal and his own strength, it can be said to be an invincible existence. Unexpectedly, there are still little things that don't know how to live or die, and dare to attack them. Azura Unicorn Immortal, don't sleep. Someone is attacking us. Gu Changtian yelled at Ashura One-Horned Immortal who was sleeping in the distance. The sound of the shells was so loud, and the whole ship was shaking. Azura Unicorn Immortal is still sleeping. Is the sleep function so powerful? But, fortunately, Ashura Unicorn Immortal woke up immediately when he heard Gu Changtian calling him. Someone attacked us. What a bunch of bastards, they even sneaked up on us. I'm going to teach them a lesson. Azura Unicorn Immortal stood up, and was very excited when he heard that someone was attacking them. Hey, do you know who sneaked up on us? The Azura Unicorn Immortal looked at Kuris on the side and asked. Master Ashura Unicorn, I don't know, we haven't had time to observe clearly. Kuris looked at the figure of Azura Unicorn, he was very frightened, and he trembled when he spoke. After all, he knows about the Azura Unicorn Immortal who just appeared in the newspaper. Kill the Celestial Dragon. Defeated the Admiral Huang Yuan, and offered a reward of 25 billion Baileys. No matter what it is an existence that he can't even imagine. Chapter 14. I don't know who the other party is. Forget it, whoever they are, just kill them directly. Azura Unicorn listening to the explosion outside with an evil look on his face. Then, Azura Unicorn Immortal jumped suddenly. The whole person soars into the sky, in the blink of an eye, it disappeared in front of my eyes. A big hole was pierced above the cabin. Let me attack you. I am a big pirate with a bounty of 500 Baileys. Don't let those pirates run away. Don't blame me for being rude if you dare to appear in front of me. Holding the big knife in his hand, Wick looked excitedly at the pirate ship swaying across the sea. Hurry up and attack. Our captain is a big pirate with a bounty of 500 million Baileys. He is going to be the pirate king in the future. At this time, several cotters on board also cheered and flattered Wick. Their captain not only has a high bounty, but also a devil fruit ability user. No matter what pirate group is opposite, it is impossible to be their opponent. They have sailed in this sea area for so long, and they have never encountered an enemy that their captain can't beat. Boom! A huge sound sounded on their boat, as if something very heavy fell on their boat. What sound? It seems that something has smashed down from the sky. Look, what's that? There's a big hole in the boat. Come on, there's a water leak on the boat. Where is the boatman? Hurry up and call the boatman over to repair the boat. The sudden movement made the pirates on the boat panic. Somewhere in their pirate ship, a big hole was smashed out by Azura Unicorn Immortal. The big hole directly runs through the entire pirate ship, and a large amount of seawater pours into the pirate ship from the position of the big hole. Seeing this situation, the pirates on the ship panicked. They didn't have time to think about what fell on their boat, and now they only wanted to block the big hole. Otherwise, they will all be buried in the sea. What happened? At this time, Wick also came over, looking at the flustered pirate with an angry face. Captain, something in the sky fell on my boat and smashed a big hole in our boat. However, the boatmen have. Ah! Boss, you. The pirate who reported the situation suddenly pointed behind Wick with a look of horror. It was as if he had seen something terrifying. Not only the pirate who reported the situation, but even some cotters on their ship pointed at his back in horror. Wick looked at them and felt a little puzzled in his heart, what could make them so scared? Could there be an admiral behind him? Hush! Just when Wick was wondering, there was a terrifying panting sound from behind Wick. Wick broke out in a cold sweat in shock. Wick felt a little hairy in his heart, and slowly turned his head, trying to see what was behind him. This. Not impossible. Why is he here? Azura Unicorn. A bounty of 25 billion Baileys is offered. After Wick saw what was behind him, he couldn't help exclaiming. The face is full of horror. He knows about the Azura Unicorn Immortal who has been making headlines in the newspapers recently. Killed 3 celestial dragons, defeat the Admiral. Shouldn't this kind of character go to the new world? Why is it here? You, why are you here? Wick pointed at Azura Unicorn with trembling fingers, his lips trembling. But what answered him was a huge fist. Azura Unicorn Immortal raised his huge fist, and swung it heavily at Wick. Boom! Wick was beaten upside down and flew out, the bones on his body were broken directly, blood was flowing, he couldn't die anymore. He didn't even have time to use his devil fruit ability. Are you the one who attacked us? You bastards are so brave. How dare you disturb my sleep? Azura Unicorn Immortal stretched out his finger, pointed at several pirate cotters on board, and said, No, no, my lord, it's not us, they did it, but I didn't do anything. One of the pirate cotters, who reacted quickly, immediately begged for mercy when he saw such a cruel Azura Unicorn Immortal. My lord, the man you killed was instigated. He is our captain, and he forced us to do it. Yes, yes, he made us do it. If we don't want to do it, he will kill us. The remaining group of pirates also reacted at this moment, and they all shifted the responsibility to the dead Wick. Their captain Wick is very domineering and treats his men very meanly. But his strength is very strong, no one is his opponent. Once you join this pirate group, you cannot quit. If you escape, you will be beaten to death if you are caught by Wick. It can be said that Wick has almost no cronies in this pirate group. But Azura Unicorn, no matter what reason they have. It doesn't matter who ordered it, a group of stupid bastards. As soon as the words fell, Azura Unicorn Immortal raised his huge arm and waved his fist towards them. Rumble! The huge arms are full of strength. Hit those pirate cotters, and knocked them flying with one punch. Those pirate cotters who flew out smashed the sails of the ship. The rest of the pirates were all quiet at this moment, looking at Azura Unicorn Immortal in horror. Some pirates even have trembling calves. Because of what happened a few days ago, there are many pirates on their boat, and they all know about Azura Unicorn Immortal. Even the pirates who don't know the Azura Unicorn Immortal, seeing the strength and cruelty of the Azura Unicorn Immortal at this moment, makes them terrified. Azura Unicorn stared at the remaining pirates with cruel eyes. Facing the terrifying gaze of Azura Unicorn Immortal, even pirates who usually kill without batting an eye can't help being afraid at this moment. It was as if a mountain was pressing on their hearts, making it hard for them to breathe. Run! He is the Azura Unicorn Immortal of the First Legion. What? He is the one-horned Azura who killed the Celestial Dragon and defeated the Admiral? Why is he here? We are definitely not his opponent. Run away, everyone! If you stay here again, you will definitely be killed. Bastard! What a bad luck! Why did I meet this monster? A group of pirates panicked in such a depressing environment. There are even many pirates who jumped directly. Chapter 15. This is a vast sea, and there are no islands nearby. With their strength, if there are no ships passing by, they will definitely die. But at this moment, these pirates can't control so much anymore. Facing a guy who defeated the Admiral, they didn't even have the courage to make a move. Hey hey hey! You guys underestimate me too. How dare you run away in front of me? Who gave you such courage? Azura Unicorn Immortal jumped out in an instant, and punched the fleeing pirates. The hard big fist directly shattered the bodies of those pirates. A group of bastards, just relying on you, it is impossible to escape. The wings of the beetle behind Azura Unicorn fluttered and flew up for a short time. Grab a few pirates in an instant, and throw them into the sky. The figures of those people, like stars flickering in the dark night, flickered for a while, and disappeared. The Azura Unicorn Immortal keeps moving fast, and there are constant pirates who die in the hands of the Azura Unicorn Immortal. After a period of time, the casualties of the pirates were very serious. A lot of blood red appeared in the nearby sea water. Curries, send someone to fish out all the pirates in the sea. Gu Changtian stood at the bow of the boat, watching the pirates constantly fluttering in the sea, and said to Curries behind him. Yes, chief. After hearing Gu Changtian's order, Curries went to carry it out without hesitation. Although Curries was very puzzled, why did he fish out those pirates? But since Gu Changtian gave such an order, he naturally has his reasons, so he didn't dare to ask more questions. After all, the description of Gu Changtian's character in the newspaper is very cruel. The group of pirates in the sea has already been scared out of their wits by the Azura unicorn immortal. During the salvage process, none of the pirates dared to resist. Stand quietly together. Gu Changtian looked at the dozen or so pirates who survived, and ordered them. Hearing Gu Changtian's order, none of the group of pirates dared not obey, they were all like well-behaved lambs. After all, their lives are in Gu Changtian's hands. No one wants to lose their life for no reason. You attacked our ship, and you were going to be killed by Azura unicorn. But now I saved your life. That is to say, each of you owes me a life now. From now on, you must obey my orders, as reserve soldiers of the First Legion. Of course, I don't like some self-righteous people. If any one of you dissatisfies me, I will kill him. After all, your life is not yours anymore. Does anyone have an opinion? Gu Changtian stood on a high place, looked at the pirates below, and said. Although these pirates are not powerful. But Gu Changtian is now preparing to occupy a franchise country, and needs some temporary people to help him. Now is there any other place that can better recruit members, and I have no choice but to let this group of pirates settle down. Although what Gu Changtian said was very domineering. But none of these pirates dared to object. After all, they are still alive, which is already the best result. Very well, since you have no objections, you will be the reserve soldiers of the First Legion for the time being. If anyone disobeys orders in the future, or runs away, you will know what cruelty is. Gu Changtian suddenly turned into a weirdo form, and he was extremely terrifying, he said. This group of people must be beaten up, so as not to be difficult to manage in the future. After you occupy the franchise country, you can recruit members from the franchise country. If you want to get shock points, you have to do something. And the best way is war. Therefore, the size of the First Legion must be expanded. After a long period of sailing, Gu Changtian and the others quickly reached their destination. Boss, the kingdom of Yubacs is coming. A sailor in charge of observation, looking at the country that is about to arrive, hurriedly ran towards the chief's room. Hey! It's here! Gu Changtian heard the sailors shout and walked out of the chief's room. The kingdom of Yubacs was determined by Gu Changtian after observing on the map for a long time. The kingdom of Yubacs is far away from the headquarters of the navy and has a population of hundreds of thousands. Not too big a country, easy to manage. At present, apart from Gu Changtian and Azura Unicorn, the First Legion is just a group of pirates. It is certainly not acceptable to let them run the kingdom. If a group of pirates manage the country, it will definitely turn the kingdom upside down. System: use primary summon. After the spread of the Chambord Islands incident, Gu Changtian's current shock points have risen to more than 80. High-level summons are definitely not enough. Then use a primary summoning together to see if you can summon any good characters for yourself. Successfully deducted the shock point, using primary summoning. The system's voice fell, and the system call screen lit up. A blank card appeared, and after a while, a woman's figure appeared on the blank card. Wearing a green dress, a white fluffy coat, short green hair, green pupils, a woman with a perfect figure. Blowing snow from hell. Gu Changtian looked at the character he summoned, and instantly felt that he was at a loss. Although Hell Fubuki has superpowers, he also has a very powerful sister. But her own strength is not very strong. Forget it, now is the time to employ people, it's better than summoning a weak monster. Gu Changtian crushed the cards in his mind, and released Hell Chugzhu. Afterwards, Gu Changtian turned his attention to the rewards obtained in this lucky draw. An advanced artificial intelligence drone that runs on solar power. Don't worry, when will it run out of power energy? This is not bad, you can use it to inquire about intelligence, or conduct high-altitude video live broadcasts in the future. Gu Changtian looked at the drone that appeared in his mind, and nodded secretly. Although people can also perform live video recording on the ground, the targets on the ground are too large and they are vulnerable to attack. But putting the live broadcast equipment in the air is different. In this world, the airfield has always been a weak point. If the live broadcast device is placed in the air, it will be much more difficult for the enemy to attack it. Wow! Take a look. Beauty. After Hell Fubuki came out, he immediately attracted the attention of a person. Although Jigoku Fubuki's strength is not very good, but he looks good and has a good figure. Really, when did we have such a person on board? Could she be our crew member? Why haven't I seen her before? Could it be that she was just recruited? Stupid, we've been sailing the seas recently, how could we recruit members? It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's so beautiful. A group of members immediately chattered after seeing Hell Fubuki's appearance. In the past, they would definitely rush forward, but now it's different. After they joined the First Legion, Gu Changtian made many demands on them. If anyone does not follow the requirements, Gu Changtian will definitely not show mercy to them. And they don't know who Jill Fubuki is. If Jill Fubuki's status is higher, then they will be finished. Let me introduce to you, this is the staff officer of our First Legion. Hell Fubuki. Chapter 16. From now on, you must obey her arrangement. Gu Changtian summoned this group of people and introduced them. We're all in a fighting state, we've arrived at the kingdom of Yubacs. By the way, Curries, is there any news from the reporter from the World Economic News Agency? Seeing the Yubacs kingdom that had appeared in front of them, Gu Changtian asked Curries behind him. If you want to gain more shock points, you must pass on the news of their occupation of the franchise country. Once this news spreads through the newspapers of the World Economic News Agency, Gu Changtian will definitely gain a lot of shock points. After all, for so many years, there have never been a few pirate groups who dare to openly occupy the franchise country. Even the 4 emperor pirates in the New World only dared to occupy some non-member countries. Captain, many reporters from the World Economic News Agency seem to have arrived in the kingdom of Yubacs. Curries responded to Gu Changtian. Some time ago, Morgans received a call from Gu Changtian. Gu Changtian told him that something big will happen in Yubacs kingdom. After hearing the news from Gu Changtian, Morgans immediately became interested. After all, Gu Changtian and Gu Changtian just killed 3 Tianlongren some time ago, and defeated the Admiral. This news made their World Economic News Agency earn a lot of Baileys. At this time, after receiving a call from Gu Changtian, Morgans decisively sent several reporters from the World Economic News Agency to the Kingdom of Yubacs. Morgans also guessed Gu Changtian's intention. He believes that Gu Changtian just wants to create his own reputation in the sea, so that he can quickly become a world-famous big pirate. Climb to the throne of the Pirate King. Very well, since the reporter is already in place, let's start. Gu Changtian had a malicious look on his face. Look. What is that? Is it a pirate ship? It seems to be a pirate. It shouldn't be, why did the pirates come here? Don't they know the countries that join the world government here? They are really pirates. Although they didn't hang the pirate flag, judging from their clothes, they are indeed a group of pirates. What should we do? As Gu Changtian and others approached the coast, the eyes of some residents on the coast were immediately attracted by Gu Changtian and his group. They looked at the ships of Gu Changtian's group, and some of them had already taken up their weapons. Gu Changtian didn't fly the pirate flag on the ship, because Gu Changtian didn't intend to be a pirate. The name of the pirate is not pleasant, and it has negative connotations, so it is simply called the First Legion. The members of the First Legion are called soldiers, not pirates. Then put on uniforms, develop some discipline, and form a preliminary, simple regiment. However, even if Gu Changtian and the others did not fly the pirate flag, these residents still regarded them as pirates. After all, the people on Gu Changtian's boat were all pirates before, and they all look fierce, they don't look like good people. When Gu Changtian and others disembarked from the boat, the surrounding residents held weapons in their hands and looked at them warily. It seems that as soon as Gu Changtian and the others make any unusual moves, these residents will rush forward. However, the scared expressions on their faces, as well as their trembling legs, revealed their current state. "Hey! I said, you don't have to be so afraid, we won't do anything to you. Of course, the premise is that you are obedient and don't disobey the orders of our First Legion." Gu Changtian looked at the frightened group of people in front of him and said, "What? The First Legion? I remembered, isn't that Azura Unicorn Immortal?" Hearing Gu Changtian's words, one of the residents seemed to have thought of something and said in shock. He has seen the news about the Chambord Islands before. It's just that that kind of character is not at the same level as them at all, so he didn't watch it carefully. However, now that Gu Changtian reminded him, he immediately remembered what he read in the newspaper. And the photo of Azura Unicorn Immortal in the newspaper looks exactly like the monster in front of him. First Legion? Azura Unicorn? You're lying. How could that kind of monster come here? Those are the existences that defeated the Admiral. When everyone heard that it was the First Legion, they expressed disbelief. Although they are allied countries, they can afford to pay a lot of money. But the life of most civilians is still very poor, and the gold in the sky is what they can barely pay. Most of them wouldn't buy something like a newspaper. They know what happened in the sea, mostly through other people's oral rumors. It's not wrong, it seems that they are really them, that guy looks exactly like Azura Unicorn Immortal. At this time, a tall man took out a newspaper, looked at Azura Unicorn Immortal, and then looked at the photos on the newspaper. After confirming the identities of Gu Changtian and the others, the man's face was filled with shock and fear. What? What should we do? Are we going to notify the Navy? What's the use of notifying the Navy? That's the Azura Unicorn Immortal, even the admirals are no match for him. Hurry up and notify the Kingdom Army. See if we can drive them away. It's over. It's over. We're over. No one is their match. Hearing that it was really Gu Changtian and the others, the group of residents suddenly panicked. After all, he was the guy who defeated the Admiral, he was simply invincible. And very brutal. Even the Tianlong people were killed by them, so in their eyes, ordinary people like them can kill as many as they want. Gu Changtian cast a glance, frightened a group of ordinary residents who were standing there, ignored them, and walked straight towards the royal city with his subordinates. Wangcheng is not too far from the coast, and there is a naval branch nearby. However, Gu Changtian didn't care about that navy branch. A small naval branch does not pose the slightest threat to their First Army Corps. Palace of Yubacs. At this moment, a tall fat man, wearing a gorgeous costume, is sitting on the throne. Below are the nobles of the kingdom. What should we do now? I heard that the First Legion is coming to our palace. The other party is aggressive, obviously it's not good. Yeah, those lunatics dare to kill even Tianlong people. They must be uneasy and kind when they come to our palace. Let's run, and we'll come back when the First Legion has left. The nobles below were panicking and making a lot of noise. As the nobles of the Yubacs kingdom, they are used to being at ease. Everyone has collected a lot of treasures, but they don't want to just die in the hands of the First Legion. Humph! We are a member of the world government. People from the First Legion, how dare they attack us? Yes, we are not comparable to those poor non-affiliated countries. Their attack on us is equivalent to opposing the world government. Not all nobles are pessimistic. For a while, the nobles quarreled because of their different opinions. Chapter 17. Okay, shut up. At this time, the Fat King sitting on the throne spoke. The Fat King is still very majestic in the kingdom of Yubacs. Everyone knows that the king has a very cruel temper. If anyone disobeys his orders, he will be beaten to death in public. And the Fat King is very powerful. So, after the Fat King spoke, a group of nobles suddenly fell silent. Our kingdom of Yubacs is very powerful, and Lieutenant General Bomado is stationed here. The First Legion has to weigh it if it wants to attack us. The Fat King looked at the flustered nobles below and said. In fact, the Fat King also wants to escape, but there are a lot of treasures that he has searched for all his life in the palace, and he is not willing to part with those treasures. I only hope that the First Legion came to them because they have some business to do, or they came here for treasure. The Fat King is also willing to give part of the treasure to the First Army, so that they will not make trouble. By the way, has Lieutenant General Bomado contacted you? The Fat King asked the captain of the guard standing aside. Report to the king, they have been contacted, and they are on their way. Still on the way. The Fat King muttered with some doubts. The branch of the navy in the kingdom of Yubacs is very close to the palace, so it shouldn't be so slow to come. However, soon the Fat King let go of the suspicion in his heart, maybe there is something delaying it. A dignified vice admiral, it is impossible to escape. Stop, who are you? After Changtian and the others arrived at the royal city, they went to the palace of Yubacs kingdom alone. After all, if you want to occupy the kingdom of Yubacs, you must kill their king. The king of the kingdom of Yubacs is a devil fruit bearer, animal, black rat fruit. At this moment, there are many palace guards outside the gate of the palace, including many navy. When Changtian and the others approached, the king and the navy branch of Yubacs kingdom had already received the news. At this moment, King Yubacs is also fully prepared. A part of the navy from the nearby naval branch also rushed over. It seems that they want to have a big battle with Changtian and the others. Bastard, you actually blocked us. Don't you know we are the First Legion? Azura Unicorn Immortal was very hot-tempered. Seeing the soldiers blocking them, he rushed out instantly. Azura Unicorn Immortal was very fast, and in the blink of an eye, he arrived in front of the group of soldiers, raised his huge fist, and punched them. Boom! The fist carries the hurricane, which is powerful. A group of them swung out, and directly killed dozens of kingdom guards and navy amidst the screams of the kingdom guards and navy. Ah! Shoot! Kill them! A colonel of the naval branch headed by shouted. At this time, everyone reacted, picked up the guns in their hands, shouted and shot at Azura Unicorn Immortal. The instant intensive firepower attacked towards Azura Unicorn Immortal in an instant. What a bunch of bastards! Your attacks are like tickling. The Azura Unicorn Immortal kept jumping back and forth, slaughtering the kingdom's guards and navy. The kingdom's guards and navy who were targeted by Azura Unicorn couldn't resist Azura Unicorn's move, and most of them turned into meatloaf. Even the captain of the navy was beaten to death by Azura Unicorn Immortal. Monster! Monster! It's terrible, what the hell is this? You're lying. Bullets are actually ineffective against this monster. Run! We can't win. The surviving kingdom guards and navy saw such a terrifying Azura Unicorn Immortal, their faces turned ashen, and their eyes were filled with despair. Kill all the guys who dare to fight against the First Legion. The world needs cleaning. Our First Legion is the ruler of the world. The rest of the First Legion also shouted and joined the battle. For a while, the scene became chaotic. Although the number of kingdom guards is relatively large, most of them are not strong. At present, most of the soldiers of the First Legion are vicious pirates on the sea. Obviously, this group of kingdom guards cannot fight against them. There are only a relatively small number of branch navies, which can fight against it. Changtian glanced at the chaotic scene in front of him, then retracted his gaze, and walked into the palace. It's really too weak, there is no fun in fighting. Azura Unicorn Immortal stopped what he was doing, followed Changtian, and walked into the palace. You pirates are so brave. Don't you know that Yubacs is a member country of the world? How dare you attack Yubacs? The captain of the kingdom's guards roared angrily when he saw Changtian and the others. Not long ago, this group of nobles who were discussing in the palace came out in panic when they heard the voices outside, and happened to bump into Changtian and the others. Hearing the accusing voice of the captain of the guards, Changtian just smiled disdainfully, and waved his hand at Azura Unicorn Immortal. His master was so frightened that, as a guard, he dared to provoke him. Azura Unicorn Immortal saw Changtian's hand gesture, and understood it. The whole person disappeared in the same place in an instant, reappeared, and had already arrived at the guard's side. Hush! You are so courageous! Brat! Before the guard captain could react, Azura Unicorn Immortal grabbed the body of the captain of the bodyguard, and slammed it to the ground. Hey! The strength is good, and I still haven't died after receiving my blow. Azura Unicorn Immortal looked at the captain of the guard who was thrown to the ground by him, with an evil expression on his face. Without giving the captain of the guard team any time to react, Azura One-Horned Immortal raised his big foot and stomped on the captain of the guard team. In an instant, the body of the captain of the guards was trampled to pieces, and flesh and blood splattered everywhere. This sudden and terrifying scene immediately frightened these nobles who usually live comfortably. There was even blood splashed on the bodies of several nobles nearby. The captain of the palace guards is the #1 expert in their Yubacs kingdom. Although he is not a devil fruit user, he is stronger than their king.